Hi, my name is Joseph Alai. Welcome to my channel. And today I want to talk about clarifying your desire and how important that is to obtaining your manifestation. This has come up recently with regards to many clients and imaginal acts that I've constructed with the need to really hone in on what they want. I have found one of the most important distinctions between clarity of mind, clarity of focus, and manifesting desires, which is the time that a person has taken to analyze what they want and how a simple approach, a meticulous approach, and a few moments of time are absolutely all it takes for you to design with impeccable clarity and absolute confidence the reality that you want. So all you have to do then is perform the second most important aspect of manifesting, which is actually imagining it. You'll get whatever you want. So by the time you finish this video, I want to explain to you ends, ways, and means, how those are related to manifestation, how you should think of your desires, what to avoid, what other people, my clients and people who have performed these experiments before have experienced, and essentially walk away with a newfound understanding and a practical approach to manifesting the exact thing that you want. So before we begin, do me a favor, hit the like button. It does something to the algorithm of YouTube so that those who wouldn't normally be able to see this will be able to see this. Hit the subscribe button if you are interested in these broken down, experiment-driven manifestation techniques. In this channel here, what I do is I systematically test technique to technique, concept to concept, philosophy to philosophy, and narrow down the features or aspects of these techniques or concepts that work. So sometimes it looks like finding one technique that you can use one time to manifest your desires as opposed to doing something 1,000 times. Or essentially it's the intelligent, common denominator, least effort approach to manifesting what you want, but in a meticulous and laser focused, data-driven way. So every Tuesday and Thursday, I release new long form videos, and then it's generally every other day except for that I release short. So definitely hit the bell icon and ensure you do that. YouTube has changed the settings, so make sure you reset your bell icon with me. And let's talk about ends, ways, and means. The only core important thing to do before imagining. So the term ends, in this concept of manifesting, we're talking about the end scene. We're talking about your core desire. The fundamental important aspects of manifestation in any technique that works will actively attempt to impress a scene, an imaginal scene, upon the subconscious mind. And upon doing that, the subconscious mind has a function that we know some of, which is the regulation of the body and the thoughts and the memories, but also it has a component or aspect far more powerful than that, which interacts with the actual three-dimensional reality outside of your physical body. And in doing so, it has the power to feed instructions to an entity or power that has all power, all knowing, all wisdom, all everything that can control reality to give you your manifestation. So in other words, any technique worth its salt will tell you to define something that you want and then give you a process to impress the subconscious mind with it. And if it does that, and it does that properly and effectively, then you will receive your manifestation. Now, that is the term end. So in this case, if your goal would be to, say, manifest a successful business, your ends would be something in the sphere of your desires in your mind that you would say would count as success in this regard. So it could be you have an idea already of what type of business that you want, and you've already meticulously outlined it within your mind. The end, in this case, would be that scenario that is already fulfilled. Now, notice I had not specified any of the intermediary details. Now, in any manifestation technique that works, it should not be specified the ways by which the manifestation will be fulfilled. Now, there are many reasons for this, and many of my videos where I refer to the Imaginal act and seeds will talk about this. But suffice it to say, the core aspect behind manifesting is when you clearly and accurately take the time to specify with meticulous detail and clarifying thought the desire that you want. You know why you want it, and you have clarified that and extracted it and ensured that that really is what you want. If you get that into a scene that encapsulates that desire, and then you can put that within the mind, within the subconscious mind, the ways and means, meaning how the manifestation is going to happen, and through what means, meaning what people, what places, what things, what events, will the ways be executed by. So you specify the end, and the ways and means go, they're selected through a process that is not dictated by our conscious mind. So again, just to reiterate with very, very clear explanation, the only requirement of a manifestation practitioner in order to receive accurate, exact results in the shortest time possible is to clarify and clarify and clarify your desire. And in doing so, derive from that desire an imaginal scene. A scene which could consist of any imaginal faculty. Imagining does not necessarily mean visualizing. It does also mean inner words, inner feelings, inner thoughts, inner touch, inner smell. Any of these aspects or combinations thereof construct a scene that implies you have already received, past tense, the desire that you're after, and all of the ways and means will be figured out independent of you, and it will be done so in a masterfully crafted way. And now let me explain to you why that is. So the reality itself, your specific experience, the totality of it consists of your manifestations. Nothing you have ever experienced has not come from anyone else but you. This is an absolutely critical distinction here, because with that in mind, you've got to realize that you alone also have the power to create the reality that you want. Now, when you imagine a scene, there is an entity, a source, something through which and from which all of everything comes from. That thing is called awareness. Awareness is the same word that is referred to as God or Jesus in Scripture. Now, this is very important because you, yourself, is the same awareness that Scripture is talking about. In other words, you are God. Now, being God and having the power of God, when you depict an end scene, the ways and means are generated through the infinite intelligence that we are thereby also creating from. So in Scripture, it says, God's ways are not our ways. And also, God's ways and means we know not of. They are past finding out. In other words, the fact that we are equated to God, in other words, the imagination impresses the subconscious, hands over the instructions with the logical mind the instructions are generated by God through the blueprint of the image that we hand over. Those intermediary steps. That master plan is formulated and executed in this world. When we try to specify the ways and means, we actually limit the ways and means our manifestations can come from or come through. Now, you are the operant power, and that means you and you alone set the blueprints by which you experience your reality. So when you imagine yourself in a position where you are already a business owner, and say, for instance, you are attempting to impress the subconscious mind with something for the sake of doing so that you have a complete scene within your conscious awareness. So you add some details that are not necessarily as important to you as the end itself. So in your eyes, you might want to be a business owner. You might not know how you want to be a business owner. You might not know what business you want to start. You might not really have any idea what that looks like, except for one aspect, which would be the satisfaction that you would have an accomplishment of being a business owner. And perhaps maybe you have an idea of the type of lifestyle that you wish to live. In many instances, a business owner will have more selective freedom to be able to make their own schedules, to work more or less, to set their own prices, and to be more fulfilled. They can travel, depending upon what they do, obviously. So for an example, in many cases, my coaching clients had attempted to fill in blanks, and I myself can relate to this, but my coaching clients themselves had also tried to fill in the blanks. And I'll give you one example. I'll give you my example, which was when I was attempting to manifest a business, and I was not entirely convinced on what I wanted to do, although I had some criteria in mind. I began to deliberately imagine specific types of businesses, certain types of computer businesses, certain types of internet businesses, certain type of advertising businesses. And so what would happen would be is I would imagine these ends, me being a successful, whatever it was at the time, business owner, and I would imagine that to the best of my ability. And then what would happen is I would begin the process, but then it would fall through, meaning I would begin to create assets and possibly even learn as much as I could on that very given topic. But ultimately, when it came time to get clients or what have you, it would fall apart. And I went through this process for many years until I decided to imagine something based upon the criteria that was more important to me, which was the freedom, which was the ability to travel, which was the satisfaction and the happiness and the gratitude that I felt. And that was what I imagined. My end was imagining myself on vacation with a laptop at hand, looking over into a lush area, tropical area, closing the laptop, looking to my left, talking to a friend and saying, I'm so grateful it's Tuesday and I'm already done working. In this end, the scene itself was the depiction of the fulfillment of my desires. Yes, there were certain aspects that I wanted to experience, but I did not know how to put that within the actual specifics of the type of business or how it was going to happen. And that was how the magic began to happen, because even though it was years before that I had consistently attempted and then failed to manifest specific businesses, after I performed this one single imaginal act, the world began to shift drastically. It was not before long that someone had discovered a blog that I had written online. I had written it about manifesting, and someone who found it sent it to a YouTuber. A YouTuber then began reading them and asked me if she could read my blog posts. I agreed, and when I looked up who that individual was, I was shocked. It was one of the YouTubers that I had listened to, which is in Evolution, Lila, a good friend. What happened next perpetuated this aspect of creation in which I had to do nothing, which was, again, she reached out to me, Lila reached out to me, asked me again if she could read another one. I agreed. And lastly, she asked me if I would do a YouTube channel, and I said no. said I didn't want to, but nevertheless, she on her video, on the video on her channel, she told the audience to look out for my upcoming YouTube channel, in which that compelled me to make a channel. And then the rest was history, rapidly and radically. Nearly overnight, I had thousands of subscribers, and it grew rapidly. This is the difference between specifying how and specifying what and clarifying the why. It is a night and day difference. And if you find that you've been stuck because you've been thinking about something that you want, but not sure how you're going to do it, forget about how you're going to do it and specify the way that you wish to experience it within the Imaginal Act itself. The ways and means will come in a way that will surpass all understanding. And the most amazing aspect of this whole thing together was when I was in Thailand performing a workshop for my VIP program. I had finished the live recording. I had closed the laptop. I had looked to the left and my friend was there. And I said, I'm so grateful it's Tuesday and I'm already done working, as I was overlooking the tropical area of Thailand. And it wasn't until that moment that it clicked. And it was the exact thing that I had imagined. Identical to the tense, to the point of view. I did not need to specify this and that. It was only the criteria that was important to me. That is how you manifest exactly what you want. Do not go to a place that you don't necessarily want. Don't specify details that you don't care about. Choose the aspects of reality that you are dying to experience. That is how you do it. So with that said, the alternative way is to essentially add details that will weigh the manifestation down. And you see what I did there was I allowed for a lot of variable with the way in which it would come. And amazingly, another feature of the manifestation unfolding was that it all aligned with my core interests. And not only that, because I had already been studying manifestation for over a decade at the point that I began my channel. I had been systematically testing, observing, performing experiments, and been studying scripture, the Hebrew and the Greek, for a very long time, meticulously. And not only that, I'm a software engineer. I went to university for math, computer science, and physics. I am a, as I said, computer scientist, which thereby allowed me to use all of my skills together. The advertising I learned, the web skills that I learned, the internet stuff that I learned, all of it came together perfectly to fulfill this manifestation, and it was so rapid. Within a matter of 3 months, I had quit my full-time job as a software engineer and was full-time working for myself. You can get whatever you want. You only need to spend the time. There's no time wasted. If you remember this, if you remember anything, remember this. There is no time wasted on clarifying the end. Know why you want it and know what you want. There is no time wasted on clarifying the end. This is an axiom that grand strategists use, military strategists use, some of the greatest experts and masters of their fields in the world, and they aren't even knowing about manifesting and the impact that their ability to think from the end is granting them. So take my advice through my experience of systematically experimenting with choosing multiple details that don't matter, going too broad, too specific. Spend the time depicting the end and imagine it. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. If it was, please hit the subscribe button, the like button. Comment, please, below. Your comments about the success stories and testimonials have been really helpful to a lot of the viewers. So that's just been amazing for me to witness. But yeah, anyway, and if there's a workbook associated with this, just go ahead and you can download that in the description as well. If it's there, it'll be directly related to this video and it'll get you the exact information you need to master this subject. So thank you so much, and I'll talk to you next time.